What's going on, Paisanos? V here, and today what we're going to be doing together is looking over a match I played at locals on Remote Duel. If you guys want to check me out when I do my live streams, please make sure to go ahead and click in the description down below. There'll be a link to my Twitch channel, YGO_Paisano. Guys, should click on that, and make sure to follow me. And if you have a Twitch sub, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, today what we're going to do is we're going to go over the match. I'm going to give you my mentality as I'm playing through this match. And this is the first time I'm watching this, so I really, it's been once again, I forgot this match, so we're going to go ahead and learn together. And I'll try to give you guys my thought process as far as what I do things. First thing I do, though, I cut in 6s when I cut my deck. Used to do 8s, but I've been told that 8s is not good. So what I do is I just quickly cut in 6s. I do like how my opponent has left and right on their side, signifying their left and their right. I like that a lot. I kind of want to do that, I think. I want to get something similar to that, because I'm left-handed. But especially when I stream, once again, my ring finger is my left hand, believe it or not. So if you look at my ring finger, it's on my right. So it looks kind of weird, but I'm left hand. Anyway, I definitely like how my opponent has it set up, and yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do a quick cut. Actually, my opponent, you know, how do you want me to cut? And then we're gonna do our dice roll. This is how basically, you know, remote deals. We're gonna figure it out. I'm gonna lose the dice roll here. My opponent's definitely gonna have way more than me. And to me, it doesn't matter. If I'm playing Shaddoll Invoked, I don't care. I honestly, truly do not care if my opponent wins or loses dice roll. If I win or lose dice roll, I really don't care. This is because this deck doesn't really need to go first, or does it need to go second? It doesn't need either way. It just is what it is. So I'm okay with that. Anyway, I'm looking at my hand. My opponent's gonna activate 5 permission taking. In my mind, I'm thinking a deck list. So immediately I'm going, okay, Bird Up or Zoo Lich. Those are two decks I think are gonna be the decks. He immediately adds Ram to his hand, and that doesn't really tell me much, because there could be a Zoodiac variant that runs birds. I don't think it's as good. It's cool, but it is what it is. Now, okay, so he's going to go ahead and go into a Trident play really simply here. Really simple, basic Trident play. 1 card equals Trident. He's going to start setting cards, and the minute he set 1 card, I said, okay, this is Zulich. Cool. I now know exactly what he wants to do, what he's trying to do, and how can I counter that? What do I have in my hand to stop that? That's literally my next thing. He has 3 cards in hand, and then you can see once again my opponent shows me his hand by laying it face down. And that's as simple as it is when you're playing in remote duels. I'm gonna double check everything. I'm gonna double check how many cards in his hand. I'm gonna touch his face down. I wanna make sure I leave nothing out, and then I'm gonna start my turn. So I'm gonna go into main phase. I'm gonna go stand my phase, main phase. We're gonna activate Magical Meltdown, and my opponent's gonna go ahead and immediately snipe it with Trident, which is the correct play. I mean, you don't want Meltdown on board if you're looking to play this Zoodiac Eldlich, because the minute my Meltdown resolves, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Now, my hand isn't as stellar, so I'm debating how many cards I want to sit down. If I want to sit down any cards. Meltdown going away was something I think I could have avoided. I think I could have baited him a different way, but it's whatever. So, and these are things you just learn as you play. So I'm going to go ahead and set 1 card face down. I'm going to T-set here. And this is an old thing Yu-Gi-Oh! Players just do all the time. It's called a T-set. It's an old thing. Maybe I'll mention it later on. But anyway, so I'm going to do a regular T-set. And I know he's going to try to go ahead and go Borbo, which he's going to attack directly. And he's going to try to go to Zeus. So what I'm thinking to myself is, okay, what can I do to allow myself back in here? Because once he goes Zeus, he's going to be able to nuke the board, I believe, at least twice. So I'm looking at my hand, and when I look at my hand like that, it's not necessarily for the current play he's doing. It's for what happens if this was to resolve. What can I do here? So then he's going to do all this other stuff. He's going to attack me. He already attacked me. He's going to go ahead and go into his Zeus. I think it's a 4 material Zeus, so he gets 2 pops. And I think he's going to try to enter the end phase and try to do a pop, which I really don't care. It's a face-down card. I'm really fine with this. Believe it or not. Like, it doesn't matter as much as you think. He has 3 in hand. I'm about to equal him out with 3 in hand. The only difference is he has a Zeus on board. So I'm going to go ahead and do Call by the Grave and immediately target I think I target his Borbo, I believe. Okay, so we're just making sure everything resolves. I'm done checking my Shaddoll card. And yeah, it just has to be sent to the graveyard, which Zeus does. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and immediately try to activate the effect of Squamata. And once again, we're just double checking, make sure. I mean, Zeus sends, Squamata says if it sends, so I'm just trying to verify. It's always good to verify the effects. And it's going to be an Ash. So don't worry about it. So he's going to go ahead and set 1 card face down. He has 1 in the hand now to my 3 in my hand. But he has a Zeus on board with a way to... Oh, I'm sorry. He has 2 in hand. He has Zeus on board, which is a big deal for me. But I'm going to activate Meltdown. Now, once again, that Meltdown immediately tells him, hey, you give it a Meltdown with your Zeus, and you got to worry about those 2 other cards. That card's a Shaddoll Fusion, and you know I play Shaddoll Fusion because I have a Skomata in the graveyard. You're going to be in a water hurt. So... he's just debating right now, but he's going to go ahead and have the Ash, which is huge. And I'm going, well then, sir, I'll pass turn. Because once again, can you kill me? Can you kill me? Probably not. Cool. I'll eat 3k. No big deal. So he's going over his options, and he's going to go ahead and put his Zeus into attack mode. By the way, a little fun fact, if I know I'm playing against a Zoo deck, which this deck is, I'm not sure if it's Zoo Traps or Zoo Lich, by the way, but I know I'm playing against a Zoo deck. What I'm thinking is, if he goes into the big Colossal guy, Megalith Colossal, I always forget his name, the 4K body, that's going to be really hard for me to get over. So in game 2 and 3, I have to side thinking that he knows by going to Colossus, Megalith, I forgot his name already, that can be a problem for me. So that's why I side extra, and I don't think he goes into it at all this game, but it's something that was immediately in the back of my mind because I knew that could be a huge issue for me moving forward. So I just ate 3k to the face. I set 1 card face down, and I believe I passed my turn here. He's going to go ahead, draw a card. He's going to go ahead, swing for another 3,000, and I'm going to eat that to the face. I'm going to get thrown down to 2,000 life points. Once again, I understand that there's a possibility he can kill me, by the way. Like, any Zoo in his hand would be game for me, but my hand wasn't at the moment that good. But there's still a percentage of a chance I can still come back. So you hang in there. Until I know until I know the chance of winning is anything, I'm just going to go ahead and keep trying. So I'm going to go for my turn. He's debating on it, and he's going to go ahead and wind up dropping the Lancia. He's probably thinking, hey, listen, this guy he has 2 in hand, by the way, but if he has Alistair and he tries to activate Invocation, I get to punish him. That's what I think he's thinking, okay? So my hand isn't still that good. We don't have the best hand, but I'm going to put a card face down, and he's going to go ahead and wind up Zeusing me that turn, which I think was... I don't know if it was the best play. I mean, he got rid of his Ice Dragon Prisons, and I get Wendy. I lost, for the most part, one face down back row, which I believe is a Schism, and my Meltdown, which didn't do nothing for me anyway. And I'm getting Wendy. So he's losing a lot compared to what I'm losing. And I'm going to go ahead and debate what I want to do here, and I'm going to wind up setting up Hedgehog. And the reason, obviously, you said Hedgehog is because if I activate Shaddoll Fusion, his Zeus is going to be the most nicest card in the game for me, and say, go ahead and just get free value. And now his Zeus has no materials, by the way. He has 2 in hand. He's going to draw for a hand to 3 in a hand. And there's still, once again, there's still a chance I can lose this. But this is the best I have. My opponent could have went into the 2400 attack guy. I know that, but like there's nothing much I can do. And now I see that he's playing Zoodiac Eldlich. He's still running Ice Dragon Prisons. So I just got to, for the most part, I have a whole idea of the deck in my mind of what he wants to do. I'm going to go ahead and activate Ash Blossom Majority Spring, which is a big deal. And the reason why it's a big deal is his monster can attack now, and I got rid of his Curse Land, and he only has 2 cards in hand. The only way for him to do anything is to get beyond his own Curse Land. Okay? So that's why I was like, you know what, I'm going to Ash it. I want to get you value. I don't want to get you a Golden Lord in your hand, which then you can send your Curse Land to get your whole engine running, because the minute your engine's online, I don't have much to go with. I'm going to be in a really bad spot. So he's going to go ahead and try to declare attack. I'm going to run him about Curse Ellen and how only zombies can attack. And obviously, this guy's not a zombie. And in my mind, I'm going, if he has 3rd Ash, we go to game 2. So I'm going to draw for my turn. I'm going to announce my phases and double check his hand. Once again, you'll see me do this constantly. I'm going to always try to, when I play, you'll always see me trying to understand what's in his hand, graveyard, banish. And I'm gonna do a quick look up and see what's in my hand, graveyard, and banish, because I want to make sure I have a full, complete understanding of the current game state. So there's 2 cards in his hand I don't know about, but I'm gonna go ahead and flip Shaddoll Hedgehog. I'm gonna add Shaddoll Fusion, and once again, he has Zeus on board. So here's where I'm going. Okay, there's not a percentage of me winning is increasing. Unless he has Ash Blossom Majority Spring. If he has a 3rd one, he has a 3rd one. You know, guess la. Okay. So I now that he said that it's good to go, I'm gonna go ahead and debate what I want to do here. Obviously, I can't use my Pedipammer and Anaconda because I'm to do 2,000 light points. I can't do it. So I gotta figure out how to get rid of his monster, as well as because obviously my Hedgehog's in attack mode. He can swing over there and kill me. So I gotta get rid of his monster. His monster has to go. And I'm just trying to figure out what can I do to do that as efficiently as possible. So I think the best course of action here is to let me see what I go. I'm going over my options. Is to go in construct, and that's gonna let me get rid of his Zeus. And I'm figuring out what I want to send. Ideally, I wanted to go into app clone because I wanted to blank out his Curse Elland, because now I don't really have an easy answer besides what Shaddoll Dragon. That's just gonna pop and he's gonna gain value off it. So like I'm just trying to figure out what's in. And I double check his graveyard again because I want to make sure he doesn't have any Eldlich trap cards in graveyard, which he doesn't. I believe he doesn't. So that's good. Once again, it's double analyzing and making sure he has Curse Elland. I know he's Eldlich Zoo, and I want to make sure that I'm going to be in a better position. So I'm going to go ahead and send Shaddoll Schemata. I'm going to activate the Schemata effect as well as Construct. I'm going to declare my chain links. He's going to double check his hand. At this point, I know he doesn't have Ash Blossom because you would have Ash already the Shaddoll Fusion. Like, there's no reason to hold Ash Blossom. I now need to gain more advantage, so that's why I'm going to send Shaddoll Beast to the graveyard, and as well as Shaddoll Incarnation, which is a phenomenal card. I could reset my Shaddoll Hedgehog if I really need to. So I gain value, and I have a possibility of resetting my Shaddoll Hedgehog, which now puts me in a position where I could start being more aggressive on him. I'm gonna enter my battle phase. I'm gonna be able to swing for him for the first time in this entire game, but I need to be more aggressive as far as getting more value and putting him down quickly. So I'm gonna double check my graveyard, look over everything I have here. I don't need to activate the Shaddoll Incarnation yet. I'm going to swing with Construct, activate Construct effect, get rid of that Zeus, do some damage finally, for the first time in this game to my opponent, coming back from an underhanded play. And once again, he topped like any Zoodiac monster, I was done for. We were talking in game 2. But that percentage of chance of me winning is why I stood in this game. You know, if there's even a slim chance, you got to stay in it, you know. I could have easily said, Zeus 2 material, my hand's crap, I'm good. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go into a gravity controller, and I'm going to try to use my Construct effect to add back my Shaddoll Schism. That's what I'm looking to do here. And he's going to go ahead and bell me. Of course he has bell. So bell works. He's just double checking real quickly. So I'm like, well, that's not good. Because now that it opens me up to more cards in which he can stop me. But at the same time, I really wanted that Schism, because had he got his Golden Lord out, I would have Schism and sent it back away because I had Construct in graveyard. Okay, so that's the reason why I wanted to go with that play. If he summoned any other monster out, I could still use my my Schism to even blank out his Borbo, which once again is a phenomenal play, but I didn't get there. So I'm gonna go ahead and set a card face down. I have 2 in hand. I'm gonna pass turn. I know my Hedgehog's totally fine. I'm not worried about my Hedgehog. I'm a little bit worried about my Gravity Controller, because all he has to do is go on and get me. He's gonna pay Angel life points, and he's gonna go ahead and add the Golden Lord in hand, and that's definitely worrisome. And I go, sure, you know, there's something I really can't do. I had an opportunity to get rid of Zeus or get rid of his Curse Elland, and I wound up getting rid of Zeus because I was trying to think. I was trying to be very forward thinking and not realizing the Ghost Spell was in his hand. You can't plan for these sometimes. So I'm just figuring out what he can do. How can he kill me? I'm at 2,000 life points. If he goes Golden Lord and it becomes 35, like that's definitely an issue. So he's definitely gonna use Golden Lord effect. He's gonna send the Hakuero to the graveyard, and he's gonna target my Link monster, which I'm like, you got it, sir. Get that Link monster out of here. I didn't even like looking at it. I'm glad you got rid of it. It annoyed me. I'm feeling pretty good, but once again, I can't show emotions because you gotta be focused. Okay, so he's gonna then activate Golden Lord effect in graveyard, and this is definitely I feel like this definitely was a misplay on his part, but it is what it is. He's gonna get Curse Elland's effect in graveyard, which is gonna fully put his it's gonna put his Eldlich engine online, and I mean not fully, obviously, but it's gonna allow him to start his Eldlich engine, which I knew in my mind. I go, listen, I was on borrowed time since turn 1. I need to start ending this duel as fast as possible. That Eldlich engine going online is scary. He got 3,500 attack, Golden Lord. He goes to swing. I got Hedgehog. Guess what? Shaddoll is in my graveyard. So we're going to go ahead and go Shaddoll, and I'm going to get value. I'm going to turn a bad situation into a situation in which I can plus. So I don't think he knew Shaddoll, or I don't think he remembered it was my graveyard. So he wanted to double check the full effect. So I said, like, there's an old school phrase for Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not sure if anyone's old enough to know this, but it's obviously everyone knows Book of Moon, but it's also another card called Book of Tao, which flips the face down, face up. And I think at first I was like, it's Book of Moon, Book of Tao. He's like, what? I'm like, all right, let me read this card to you. So even though no monsters really changed on field. I didn't add a monster, take a monster away. Not did he. The attack still goes through. He still gets to swing my hedgehog, and I'm totally cool with this. Once again, I'm just gonna add more cards to allow me to go into my Shaddoll engine. I'm gonna add Shaddoll Fusion in my hand. Okay, now maybe I had El Shaddoll in my hand. I probably would, because I have El Shaddoll in my graveyard, but I still wanted to add in my hand. I was thinking probably if he had a zoo monster, he could still do some zoo plays. That's one card in his hand. I just want to eliminate that possibility of anything he can do. End phase, he's going to go ahead. Wait, before he goes to his end phase, he's going to go ahead and try to activate some of those Eldlich effects. And I'm just going to go Lancia and put him a turn back. And this is why I like Lancia infinitely more than Nibiru in the main deck. Because against this matchup, if I can put my opponent back one turn, that's one more turn I get to do more Yu-Gi-Oh plays. Not only that, but if I get Aerial, or I get access to Aerial, that puts me in yet another great spot. Oh, this must be the reason why I activated I added the Shaddoll Fusion. I'm just gonna go ahead and add El Shaddoll right here. Okay, so I know it's gonna get either or. Okay. Once again, this is the first time me watching this duel with you guys. I played in it, obviously that's me, but I never rewatched these. This is the first time rewatching it. I'm commentating to you guys. I have 4 in hand, 1 card Shaddoll Fusion, 1 card El Shaddoll Fusion. I'm double checking what I can use in my graveyard. I'm trying to go over everything. He has 1 card in hand. He has Lich in graveyard. I'm trying to see what I can do to get rid of this, to put myself in a better position in this game state as efficiently as possible. And the thing I really want to do is send an arrow to graveyard, get rid of those lit traps. And that's why I'm going over every possibility, every scenario that would get me to that situation. If I can get there, theoretically, once again. So I know that I have a hedgehog. It's level 4 or lower. There's Artemis I can go into. I was thinking about it, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and go Shaddoll Fusion, and I also have El Shaddoll Fusion, so I'm also good to go with that. I'm gonna bring out a Winda, and then I'm gonna set 1 card face down, and I think I'm gonna pass my turn here. Basically, I figured out there was no way I could have really went into what I wanted to go into, and we're gonna go ahead and help him get his Lich engine online, unfortunately. But his Lich engine is getting online a turn later. Remember that. It's important. So, okay. So, his Golden Lord now is back to being 2500 attack and vulnerable. I think he draws, so he has 2 in hand. I don't know if he actually banished with his Lich engine, to be honest with you. I don't think he did. He could have got Lich engine online, but I'm not sure if he did or not. Didn't. Oh, okay. So he's gonna send my Winda to the graveyard. I'm gonna go ahead and activate Winda's effect. Once again, it's all about recurring resources. I'm gonna add back my Schism, and once again, I'm really cruising at this point. I'm like, this is totally fine. Like, that has to be Conk set down, face down, and if it's not, I'm in a good position. So end phase. Now he's gonna activate his Conquistador, and he's gonna set Elixir. I think he might have forgotten, to be honest with you. Okay, so he's gonna go get his Elixir. He has a face down card. It could be Conk. If it's Conk, that's bad news bears for me, because now, once again, even though I made a miraculous comeback, Conk gets rid of my Schism. I'm not a happy camper. Okay, so I'm gonna draw for my turn. I have 2 in the hand and 1 face down card. We already know one of those cards are Shaddoll Schism. And I top deck the Alistair, so it feels pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and summon Alistair and activate Alistair effect. I think he's debating on what to activate here. If that is a Conk, there's no reason to pop my Alistair because I'm still going to add Invocation. He knows this, so I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. Add the Invocation to my hand. And now I'm thinking, what can I do to push him back turns? So I add Invocation to my hand. And now he's analyzing everything. He's trying to figure out what to go. He's scrambling. And I'm looking at my fusion in the graveyard because I want to see if... I think I'm going to go App Cologne here. I think that would be the best thing I can do because it gets rid of his Golden Lord. To be honest with you, I don't know fully what I do here. Oh, I know I have Schism in my... The Schism is in my hand, so I have a trap if I want to go Mechaba. That's another possible play I can use. I don't know what the other card is. So we're going to go try to figure out all this out together. I mean, this also could be a Ice Dragon's Prisons, which would be a big deal. Technically speaking, I should have lost this game. I'll be honest with you guys. There's so many ways he could have stopped me. So many cards he got before I got to. So many things he did before I could have done. My Lancia did put him a turn back. I'm asking what his light targets are because I think I'm looking to go into a Mechaba. I may have to get rid of my Schism, but I'm kind of okay with that. So I think that's the play I'm looking into. I know he has a set card. If that set card is a Conquistador and I could banish it, I shut down his Lich engine, which is pretty crazy. So I'm going to go ahead and activate Invocation. And I think I'm looking at all my options. I'm looking at his options. I'm going to tell him that I'm going to banish one of his. I think I banished his Zeus. It doesn't really matter. I mean, what? Top deck monster reborn, I guess. It swings with Zeus. I guess that was, that's an option. So I'm going to go ahead and immediately go into Mechaba. And then after going into Mechaba, I'll explain to him that he knows that I have skills in my hand. He was trying to figure out what do I know in your hand, because I have 2 in my hand currently. So I'll explain to him that, that he knows one of them. So he has 2 face down, 1 in hand. He's trying to see what he wants to do after the resolution of my play. He's going to go ahead and try to activate that Conquistador. Now, I could have easily let Conquistador go and went Schism, but I like my Mechaba. Now, let's see. Do I like my Mechaba? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I like my Mechaba. We like these cards. We like cardboard. Let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely going to Schism him here. Because that's once again, that's his own. I don't know if he has an Eldlich back row, but I do know that as far as what we have right in front of us, his Eldlich engine is offline. So I'm going to add back my Alistair after all that resolves, and now I have 2 in hand. I got rid of the Schism, so now I have 1 card he knows, 1 card he doesn't know. I'm going to have him do a quick cut on my deck. Once again, another thing I do, I'm not sure I mentioned already, I probably forgot, but I like to take my deck, if I feel once I go through my deck and it's not cut, it's an illegal deck. So what I do is I take my deck and I put it sideways on my field center. It lets my opponent know my deck's there. It lets my opponent know that I know my deck's illegal. And it allows my opponent an opportunity to immediately answer me and say, hey, listen, cut half or draw, cut top 2 or whatever. It's just something that lets my opponent know. It's a mutual kind of thing to say, hey, listen, I'm not trying to do anything, funky. Here's my deck. If I go on my deck, I just go on my deck. I can put it back in the middle. I don't need to shuffle it 1,000 times, have them cut 1,000 times. Unless I'm drawing throughout the match, there's no reason to do that. So I'll put it there. And that's another thing I do when I do remote duels as well. And when you guys eventually maybe considering doing remote duels, something you might want to consider doing, it's a mutual respect thing, and it lets your opponent know my deck's right there. If I go into it, I'll go into it right in front of your face. If I'm gonna draw, I'm gonna give you an opportunity to cut it before I draw into it, because it's a lot easier, and it saves from making any kind of misplays, accidentally drawing cards. Okay, so my opponent right now definitely looks to have more advantage. He's gonna summon his Ghost Bell, and I'm like, well, sir, that's a zombie monster. You summon a zombie monster, and I don't really actually forgot what he went into here, but that's no, he's gonna go into Phoenix. Yeah, okay, so he's going to Phoenix with 1 card in hand, and he's just giving, like, I don't know, I don't think this was the right play. He got rid of my Shaddoll Fusion, but I'm okay with that because I have my Invoked Engine in my hand. He's gonna activate. I can't see that. Oh, he's gonna activate Elixir, and I'm gonna go ahead and. Okay, 1 second. He has no. Double check. He has no cards in hand. Wait, what's happening here? What got banished? Oh, he's activating Golden Lord's affecting Graveyard. Okay. So he's activating Golden Lord's affecting Graveyard, and basically, I was like, no. Mechaba says no. I don't think that was the right play. I think you should just activate your trap card, but. He wanted to I guess he wanted to have a bigger Golden Lord. Had he had a bigger Golden Lord, he could get him over my Mechaba and end the game. I think that's what he was trying to do. So we still have a chance of winning, by the way. End phases, he's still gonna have his access to his Invoked Engine, which I'm not a big fan of. But what can I do? And he's gonna go ahead and set a Conquistador. So his Invoked Engine in this game is kind of scuffed. Because we've been going back and forth as far as like me trying to take his engine away, him recouping it, me taking away him recouping it. So it's not he doesn't have full access to it, but it's definitely something that I'm aware of. Now I'm gonna go ahead and summon the Alistair. That was my top deck, which is pretty, I mean, eventually I'm gonna draw into it. I went through so many cards and I took so many beatings, so I'm gonna go ahead and summon Alistair, activate Alistair to add Invocation back to my hand, and now I have a window in graveyard. I can go into Ogoys if I really want to, and I'm trying to analyze my options. So. Invocation in his hand, Alistair's on board. Let's see our attributes in graveyard. And from there, we can figure out what do we want to do, what we don't want to do, what's the best course of action. So I'm going to activate Invocation, and I'm going to try to put it in a zone that his back row is not into, just in case it's infinite impermanence, That's all. I've had many run-ins, and I guarantee everyone else watching this video has had many run-ins. When you're putting in a zone, your opponent's like, imperm, you're a Mechaba, or whatever your monster is. And you're like, it's the same as my Invocation. And then you get no value. And then you proceed to just get absolutely spanked. So there's no need for that. I'm going to banish my Alistair in Grave. and I'm going to get rid of also my window. And yeah, I definitely going to go into Ogoides here. I have extra monster in my graveyard. I don't know which. I think it's a little window, I believe. Ogoides effect on summon, or whenever Ogoides is special summon, or whenever monster on my opponent's side feels special summon, I can go ahead and pop that. So that's kind of cool. So I just bring out Ogoides out, and I'm just explaining to my opponent the effects of Ogoides, and explain like the stats and all that stuff. The people just, he's double checking. So I'm gonna use Ogoides effect on someone to go ahead and pop his Phoenix, and then I'm gonna recycle my invocation because invoked guest players get to have fun recycling cards. Okay. So I'm going to recycle that. I'm going to put everything back into my deck. I'm going to add Astral Spectre hand. Once again, my deck's still sideways. It's still considered a legal deck. And so my opponent gives me the go-ahead. I don't like that deck. It's illegal. Unless they say I'm okay to tap it or cut it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pump Ogoides. And Ogoides now becomes 4,800. And I'm going to enter the battle phase over here. And just astonished as I am, I do take this game. I think there was definitely some plays I could have done a little more sharper. And obviously, for my opponent, there was definitely plays he could have done a little more sharper. But we're both just trying to, when you're playing a match, guys, and this is something I'm not sure if everyone understands, but it's important. Whenever you're playing a remote duel match, you are, even if it's you and your opponent and nobody else around, you still have that level of being nervous. You're playing an official Yu-Gi-Oh match. There's still a little bit of nerves happening. So, obviously, you want to, oh, by the way, yeah, let me finally use my Hash Blast from Joy of Spring. You're obviously playing with a bit of nerves, and you're just trying to play at the best at your abilities. You're playing in a competition. It's not like playing casual. It's playing casual. It'll be a lot different. But for the most part, it's competitive Yu-Gi-Oh! So we're both nervous, and obviously, as you can see in this video, and you'll see in other we don't play as optimally. We try to always strive to play as optimally. So that's something I think a lot of people can watch and go, V, at X timestamp, you made misplay, or your opponent made this misplay. We get it. We understand that. Trust me, we understand that. But we're both trying to play to the best of our abilities. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and go into the side deck. And what the good thing about Shaddoll and my Shaddoll Invoked deck is siding is relatively easy. It's only what do I think my opponent's going to try to do, and what can I try to do to respond to it. I mean, we have cards like Talents. We have Evenly Match. And Evenly Match is a phenomenal card against our opponent because it basically clears his back row of Eldlich. He loses a ton of value, and we gain insane value from Evenly Match. Obviously, there's a lot of other cards like Lightning Storm, which is really good. Not as good as Evenly, obviously, but still phenomenal. Just to clear his backward to allow us to go ahead and create our board. And once again, if you send Ariel with a Lightning Storm, it doesn't matter. We also can go in and add Harpy's Veluster. We're going to adding a bunch of cards in here. My sides go anywhere from between 3 to 9 cards. And the only reason it's up to 9, because if we're playing against Dragonlinks, we still want to add those Nibiru's in. So that'll be like the 7th, 8th, 9. Ideally, you'll see me side 6 whenever I play this deck. It's really rare I'll side anything beyond 6, unless it's Dragonlinks. 3 is the minimum that I usually side in as well. So my opponent's going to go ahead and start doing a 6 shuffle, and I'm going to do my 6 shuffle as well. So we're going to go ahead and try to do that as once again efficiently as possible. We got 23 minutes left on the clock. I definitely came back from a deficit against my opponent, and yeah, I was shocked. Like I said, if there's a chance I can win the match or the game, I'm going to stay in that game. Until I know fully there's no chance, why not? Obviously, there's certain games you want to end early, and just for time's sake. And if you're playing against something like, let's say, Prank Kids, and it's a low percentage, I would probably end it early just to have the sake of time on my advantage against Prank Kids. But most matches, especially that match you saw before, there was a chance I could win. There was a chance I could break his board or deal with what he's doing to me, and still be able to put a board out. And I'm gonna take it every single time. So we're going to go ahead and talk about cutting. The normal thing sometimes I cut, I like to do sporadically. I usually do like half top 5, half top 12, half top 7. I just like doing it that way. Some people like to do top 12 out the gate, and that's not bad too. I don't think there's any wrong answers as long as there's a good cut for each play when you're doing remote duels. So my opponent's going to draw his 5 cards. I'm going to draw my 5 cards. First thing I do when I draw my 5 cards is look at my hand and get a quick analyzation. Is that a word? Analyzation of my hand, and try to understand what I have here. He's going to activate Prosperity. That's a terrible card in that deck. I think so. People might disagree with me, but he's going to go ahead and mill the top 6 cards. And once again, I Prosperity, he just gave me 6 extra cards for Prosperity. I mean, I want to say it's terrible, actually. Now I'm thinking of my retrospect. He doesn't really go into extra deck that much, so maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in this deck it's not that bad. I don't know. I don't like Prosperity in general. Anyway, he's going to go ahead and activate Tanky and basically do a repeat of what he did last game. Tanky, get Ram. And this is where I don't think he realized. At this moment, I don't think he realized, had he went that big Mega Colossus guy, it's really hard for Invoked Shaddolls to play around that guy. Can I play around him? Absolutely. Is there a chance to play around him that I can't? Yes, 100%. And I side knowing that, by the way. But it's not easy. And had he went to that play, I mean, don't get me wrong, it opens it up to Nibiru, it opens it up to a bunch of more hand traps. But had he went that way, I think that this game would have favored him a little bit more. My hand was cracked, though, so it doesn't matter. Let's go. Let's go. Let's do it, boys. All right. So I draw. I have a hand of 6. I'm very happy because going second against this deck is something I would have. If I lost game 1, I still would have had him go first. His board doesn't kill me going. It doesn't put anything too hard on there. I'm gonna go ahead and resolve evenly match, and this is another reason why I like evenly match. He's still gonna chain Artifact Lancia, but I'm okay with that exchange. I lose evenly match. He loses Lancia. Now, obviously, I would have been happy with resolving evenly match. But it doesn't matter because we're gods. We play the best deck of the meta, in case anyone forgot watching this video. And we're going to Lightning Storm him. Guess what? It so happens, okay? This is going to happen. He has 1 card in hand. He's going to go ahead and lose his back row. And it turns out to be Sound Strike, Ice Strike, and Prisons. And yeah, that's pretty good. And of course, his face up tanky. I'm going to activate Magic Meltdown, look at his Dryden, and say, go ahead and stop this. He's going to go ahead and stop that. And that's the bait. Now let's see what else we can do here. I have 3 cards in hand. Can we capitalize on this? Is the question. Once again, he has 1 in hand. None of it, no access to his Eldlich engine with 1 in hand. I'm in a really great spot right now. And he already uses Dryden, and I have 3 in hand, which is huge. I'm going to normal summon Alistair because we always have it because we play Invoked, one of the best cards in the game. Alistair's going to go ahead and let me add Invocation to my hand. And this is definitely a very favorable time now because we drew 2 of the best cards. You side in this matchup, especially Eldlich, evenly match, Lightning Storm, and I do 2 Lightning Storm, Harvest for Luster, and 3 evenly match. I definitely gotta make a side deck video for you guys. I'm gonna wait a while before I do a side deck video. I'm gonna wait till the new set drops probably before we talk about the side deck and how to do the side deck properly. Siding with me is really simple. It's really easy, and that's the way I built it. I know a lot of people like to put like 2-ofs in their side deck for some ungodly reason. They like to put 2-ofs in their side deck. Now, unfortunately, I had a pass turn here. And the reason why I had a pass turn here is because I immediately remembered, oh no, he activated Lancia because I played evenly. And he Lancia'd. So that's not good. But it's whatever. Once again, we have Invocation in hand. If his Dryden gets rid of my Astral, which he's going to do right now, I don't care. Sure. That's fine. I'm really okay with that. My Invocation exchanges with his Zeus. You understand? So not in exchange with Zeus. My Invocation actually is better against Zeus. What am I saying? He's going to go to Borbo, and he's going to declare an attack for a whopping nothing. And I go short. It's fine. Once again, I have 1 card face down. I'm not sure if he's going to try to Zeus me 1 card face down. Maybe. I don't think that would be the most optimal way to do it. But I think he has to go to Zeus. And once again, this is where I'm still confused because you could have went the Colossal guy. That guy's really good, but I'm not sure if he played it or not. Also, take note, he has those Kybercorp sleeves. Really nice sleeves. I actually have some of those. Those are beautiful sleeves. Beautiful sleeves. And yeah, okay. So I'm going to draw for my turn. I definitely have Invocation in hand that he knows about. I have 2 other cards in hand he doesn't know about. I have 1 card face down. He has a Zeus, I believe, with 2. He has 2 blow-ups on his Zeus. And we know that he used 1 Lancia. Now, here's the question. Did he play the other Lancia? Because if he did, I'm in a bad spot. His Zeus sticks, and that puts me in a really bad spot. So once again, I'm double-checking his hands. Always, every time I play, I'm always analyzing. Hands, graveyard, field. Always, every single turn. Then I'll announce my phases. Standby main phase. Because I'm always trying to analyze everything. Someone said a long time ago, maybe it was me that said a long time ago. I'm really old. Okay. To stop, think, make the play. Every time you draw, you stop immediately. You think about what's on your opponent's hand, field, analyze everything, graveyard, and then you make the play. And that's basically what I do. To this day, I still do it. So I'm going to go ahead and go Shaddoll Fusion. I'm going to send some cards to the graveyard, and I know he's going to go ahead and he's going to nuke my board, which is totally fine. Shaddoll Fusion is absolute nutty value here. We're going to blank out his Zeus. I'm going to get to use App Clone, but before I get to use App Clone, I'm going to get to use Squamata, which is going to let me send a Beast Stalker Plus, as well as a Wendy, so I can set something face down with Wendy. And I'm thinking here, do I go Ariel? If I could go Ariel, that'd be kind of cool too if I need to. Because what's going to happen, and I'll show you another play. I'm not sure if I do it here or not. Because I could have went Ariel, set Ariel, and I wound up sending Hedgehog. But I could have set Ariel and then had App Cologne banish, and then use banish. App effect would have got me Restaurant Incarnation, send Restaurant Incarnation, banish Restaurant Incarnation with my App Cologne, flip it Aerial effect to special summon back my App Cologne. It's a cute little play. I'm not doing that here. I want to go ahead and drawing for Beast, and then I'm going to go ahead and go into my App Cologne play. We still have access to Invoke package, which is, I mean, just pure gas. So, and our opponent, once again, he lost a lot. And that puts us in an insanely good position. So I'm going to go ahead and add El Shaddoll Fusion to my hand. There's my deck again. Once again, boom, put it up top there. There it is. And I'm going to go activate El Shaddoll Fusion. Oh, no, I'm going to discard El Shaddoll Fusion. I'm sorry, with App Cologne to resolve App Cologne's effect. Double check my graveyard, see what I have here, see my options. Double check again, no big deal. Always good double check. Look at my hand, see what our plays are. He has 2 in his hand. He has really nothing big in his graveyard. And I'm going to see how many materials on the Zeus, even though it's blank. Just double checking. You never know. And then here's the question. We're going to activate Restaurant Incarnation. And we're going to get rid of a Squamata. And we're going to go ahead and flip the... Shaddoll Beast. And we're going to add a Shaddoll Spell Track to our hand. So I'm going to add the El Shaddoll Fusion. Little fun fact. I only played 2 El Shaddoll Fusions. And that's because I don't like opening multiple copies. I'd rather open the multiple copies of Shaddoll Fusion, which I like, not necessarily El Shaddoll Fusion. So, we're going to activate the invocation on hand. And here I am, I'm thinking to myself, what can I do to clear his board and possibly kill him? But it's all a process. So, we're going to go into Mechaba, and that's going to put him, down a bit. I'm going to get rid of his Lancia. I'm going to banish the Astro that's already in my graveyard. I'm going to add Astro back to my hand. Then I'm going to summon Astro, add invocation. Now, watch this, okay? We still haven't entered battle phase. We got another body on board. Okay. We have some cards in hand, way more than our opponent. We're really up an advantage. And he has an extra deck monster. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of 2 of my main deck monsters and go right into Predator for an Anaconda. This card is absolutely broken in this deck. But you need to time it, because you always want to resolve it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm debating what I want to do in my extra deck, what I want to go into. Obviously, once again, he has Zeus. He has 2 in hand. He can easily put a Zoo monster on board and try to attempt to take me out, and that's going to be a huge problem. I'm going to make Anaconda make his Zeus a dark monster by using Anaconda as the first effect, which a lot of people kind of forget about, but I think it's kind of important. And then I'm going to extend Super Polymerization to the graveyard. Obviously, his Anaconda go bye-bye. And then I'm going to get rid of his Zeus go bye-bye. Anaconda go bye-bye. And then here we go. We're going to go ahead and bring out my Storm Venom Fusion Dragon. It doesn't get any buff and attack, but one thing I like about it, though, if it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard, it nukes all special monsters my opponent controls. Obviously, Zeus can play around it, but nevertheless, still a phenomenal card. I also have Mechaba in hand. I have 4 cards in hand. Like, we're cruising right now. And we're going to enter the battle phase, and we're going to swing. So right there, that's 5,300 on board. He's still alive. We have 13 minutes left on the clock. And I'm going to set 2 cards face down. I have 2 cards in hand. I'm in a good position. I'm going to offer my cut to my opponent. He's going to cut in half. He's going to draw the 3 cards in his hand. There's nothing good and useful in his graveyard. We checked his graveyard so much. I know at this point, unless he has like Monster Reborn, that graveyard's not going to do much for him. Okay. Unless he top deck an Invoked card, which, once again, we knew about because we had our Mechaba on board, so we were good like that. I'm going to double check what I have over here and see if I can send a dragon to my graveyard to pop his background. That's why I was looking at it. So there's nothing I can't do with that. I'm not going to go ahead and opt to try to even attempt to do that play. I'm not sure if I could have done that play, but it's always good to double check and analyze every single card and every single chance you have to do something. He's going to go into Elixir to try to put something on board. I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, he's going to bring up his Golden Lord on board. And that's not scary to me. What's scary to me is those other 2 face-down cards. Because that could be more Eldlich cards. That could be Ice Dragon Prison. Like, those 2 back row cards are what's my problem right now. Golden Lord on board, not that big of a deal. I'm going to activate Invocation. Oh, I showed Invocation. Oh, hold on. Whoa, boy. So I'm going to wait for him to do the cuts. And we're just looking to see what we got here. Okay, so I'm going to Foolish Burial and use a dragon to try to preemptively make him... I'm going to Foolish Burial, I'm going to send a dragon, I'm going to pop one of his back row, and hopefully I can pop I pop one of his Zoo cards. I mean, not his Lich cards. To make him kind of preemptively activate it. I have Invocation in hand. He knows it. I show him to him, let him, he wanted to verify, let him know, hey man, this is public knowledge. You know this card. I'm saying dragon, and we're gonna go ahead and target a card, and I target his left because I'm left-handed, so that's basically it. So he's gonna activate Hakuero, and I don't think that's that big of a deal, to be honest with you. Like, I don't think I care about my graveyard as much. So, one thing, this is my point. Your opponent's just trying to see what's going to graveyard. I think Alistair was the card you wanted to banish. I'm trying to show my opponent as best as possible. I'm trying to, like... And there's something I want to get. If you're playing against somebody, you want to make sure they have full knowledge, just like you have full knowledge of everything. If I'm going to go ahead and ask everything my opponent has, when they're going to go ahead and do the same thing to me, so I want to make sure they're as comfortable as possible understanding everything. Now, he didn't get rid of my Alistair, and I have Invocation in hand. I'm not sure if I have an Alistair in hand. I don't know 100%. But I'm going to activate Show Schism, and I'm going to try to see if I can bait out, if he has a Conquistador, I can try to bait it out, and there's Conquistador. So, bait success. So, my schism gets popped, and now I'm going to go ahead and activate Invocation. I'm going to get rid of my Alistair, and I think I'm looking for a fire here, because I'm trying to go ahead and do some damage. No, okay, I'm going to get rid of my Ab Cologne, and I'm going to go into Agoides. Okay. So this works too. I don't think I had fire, so we're going to go Agoides over here. Agoides is going to pop his Golden Lord, and we have enough damage on board to do game. So we're going to go ahead and add Invocation, add that, and now we're in game mode. We're in striking distance. It's just all about just completing the game. He got, and I just want you guys to understand something. He was one turn away from having his full Lich engine online. Like, that's huge. Because I don't really play that many traps. Mega Buzz's useless against that. Don't get me wrong, I have a pretty decent board, but that's a big deal. It's a very, very big deal against me in this deck. So I'm gonna put a Nano Monster on just to go ahead and try to clear some board and make sure he's dead. He's gone. I'm gonna get rid of both his cards and then just go right there and enter game. That's basically it, guys. This is a bit of a longer video, but hopefully you guys can understand this deck and what I try to do when I grind with Invoke Shaddolls. His deck's grindy, my deck's grindy. Obviously, I think his turn one's better than my turn one because setting up a Dryad that your opponent has to immediately respond to, or else it becomes a better monster turn two. Which is, Dryad already itself is good. It's definitely a big deal. But this is the deck, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed these kind of videos. Thanks to my opponent playing against me once again. It was definitely a hard matchup. I still think he should have won game one, but in this matchup, this kind of weird matchup we play, I played against a lot of Lich matchups, and the best thing to do, in game 2 and 3, I feel like my Invoke Shaddoll is even better because my opponent doesn't lets me go first unless say game 2 or 3. We go draw pass. We go draw my hand pass, and then he has to make a board. And if he doesn't make a board, I kill him next. I attempt to see if I can kill him next board. So that's why I like this matchup for the Lich matchup, the Lich Zoo matchup against us, because I feel like we're heavily favored. They can't immediately kill us. We can't immediately kill them if we have the decent kind of hand. Not only that, but any kind of Lich matchup is definitely a really grindy matchup. And the best thing to do in those kind of matchups is count what your opponent has. The average ratio for a Lich is 3 Elixir, 3 Conquistador, and 2 to 3 Hakuero. So you're always counting what he has. The average amount of Golden Lords they play in their deck is 2. They don't run 3 unless it's pure. They ideally run 2. So if you can activate Invocation and you can banish 1 Golden Lord and incorporate a graveyard every other second Golden Lord, their whole engine is ugat. It's a joke. It's nothing. So that's something also that does come up. Then you have access to the Zoo engine. That's the second part of the engine. And the Zoo engine is not that worrisome. Once again, you saw me calmly go, it's whatever. It's they have to draw multiple zoos, and the Zoo Lich doesn't really play as many zoos. I think they run anywhere from like 6 to 8. If you want to go by the full thing, it's 6 to 9, I think it is, but depending on their build. And that might seem like a lot, but in 40 cards, it's really not. The only card I'm honestly scared about is I saw him strike a little bit. Realistically, the Ice Dragon Prison is a very scary card against us because we could lose a lot of value by them activating 1 card, which is definitely something very worrisome. So I'm always on the lookout for that card. That's why I preemptively activated Foolish Burial to activate my dragon, to try to pop his back row, and to see if it's the Ice Dragon Prison. So that's why I made that move that way. Anyway, guys, I really appreciate you guys watching this video. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Check me out on Twitch. I'm going to be playing this deck, Shaddoll Invoked. Like I said, this is definitely, in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best deck of the format, absolutely tier 1 deck and a powerhouse. And I'll show you more matches that I play. I don't care if I win or lose matches. I'm trying to find matches that I can show you why I made the moves I made, or what my opponent did, and how can I respond to that. And that's very important in these kind of matches, because you're always trying to figure out what's the best way to gain advantage. And the minute you gain advantage, like you saw before, the minute I had a Mecha Bot on board, even though I wanted to keep my Schism, I got rid of it, because I'm like, screw it. By me getting rid of Schism, I turned his Lich Engine offline. So I was totally fine with that exchange. I didn't know if he can put it back online or not, but I will do that to try to maintain an advantage. So these are things you got to think about when you're playing this deck, guys. Hopefully this video was informational and information. It was good information, and hopefully it was helpful. And yeah, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you around, Paisanos.